Part of the Maritime Museum. For your price of admission, certain hours of the day, you also can get on board the Columbia Lightship. But on your right, look way up on the hill there, on Coxcomb Hill. That's the Astoria column. We'll take you to the catwalk up there. From there, on a pretty day like today, you can see Mount St. Helens, Tillamook Head, illustrating Northwest history, along with the Great Northern Railroad. This is the last one that was built. On your right, that orange and green boat, that is the Peacock. It's a retired bar of the bar in its lifetime. The little boat in back is called a daughter boat. That's the boat that would scurry up alongside the big ships to transfer the pilots. Coming up to the old railroad depot, it's part of the Maritime Museum, Barbie Center. Look to your right though, follow these rocks along the railroad track. You see that whole line of painted rocks? Yeah. People keep adding to that. They paint rocks and they add it to our long train of rocks there. If you get a chance to walk by, this is what 4 miles across a river looks like, to give yourself some perspective.
I ain't swimming that anytime.
The ships you see moored out here in the river, they're waiting their ship orders, their dock space, their cargo to be available. Their main ports of call are Portland, Vancouver, Longview, Kalama, Woodland, and St. Helens. More about that shortly. On your right is the old Astoria Plywood Company, but today it's the two houses are the same. Some are 2 stories, some are 3. Very strict building code. Steep gabled roofs, the elongated windows, they all have a front porch of some kind. Some are over the water. We're going over a tidal gate. Won't change with our tides, which could change as much as 12 feet in a day. They used to float the logs into the pond, mill that lumber, and it would go out on rail or on barge. There's also senior housing and workforce housing out towards Marine Drive, all connected to the Mill Pond Village. Off to your left, this is the Tourist 2. That is a tour boat. You can take a 2-hour cruise up and down the river with Captain Mark. Very informative. I did get to do that one day. He is a wealth of information. On your left, out there in the water, that red building, we call it Big Red. It's an old net drying loft. Back in the day, fishing nets were heavy. They were made out of cotton fiber and they had to be pulled up and out of the boats and hung to dry every night. That's the last example we have of such a building. It had been owned by an artist. He was hoping to make a studio or gallery out there, but it is for sale. If you've ever been, get right after it. Used to have 3 stories. The 3rd story blew away in 2007, so you might want to be faster rather than slower.
It's yours, people.
All the stories that are needed, very much overdue here in Astoria. We have very little room to grow here. And I know the leasing office is already open. They haven't been completed yet, but people are renting these already. Don't know the price tag, but the said, stay in your jammies. You can go right next door to Starbucks, because that's where it is, inside the Safeway store. The town was called Finntown. This is where your Danes, your Swill breakwater is actually a 2-lane road. It's great for fishing and just for a long walk. Very few fishing boats out here on this end of town for that same reason.
And the homeless.
Anybody here from California? Pretending to be a cop, pretending to be a kindergarten
elementary
teacher.
School people.
Some say he went on to pretend to be governor of California. Maybe. But on your left, there's some California sea lions. We have 1,000 of them before the autumn is done. They're here 10 months of the year. Right now, they're coming back from California. It was mating season down there. These are the ones that didn't get lucky. They came back early. They go about 700 to Trim, California. You are required to take one home with you. Protected, so we can't do much about them. Our next stop will be 39th. That's where we turn the trolley around. So I will be looking for, there's a fresh seafood market, there's an Airbnb, there's a free museum that has artifacts and pictures from the canning days. It's worth a drive or a walk down there. And this is all Also where you pick up that 2-hour riverboat cruise with Captain Mark. At this, there's a lot going on back there at 39th Street. My favorite coffee shop, Coffee Girl back there. You sit out on the back deck in the morning. It's great. So I'm looking for 4 very strong men to help me turn the trolley around. Or 2 Norwegian women. That's all it would take. No takers? I guess Frank and I are gonna do it ourselves again.